So I came across this post that made me rethink how I'm living my life as a woman in her 20s. It really felt like a message from my future self if I chose to listen. What seeds could I be planting now that would make my future self be like, go girl, you are doing the thing. Basically, I came across this post, shout out to Tola of Kara's Hair. She was just graciously sharing what she had learned having planted herself in the midst of women that were older than her. And it unexpectedly turned into such a beautiful space for women to share their struggles, their lessons. And it was just so amazing to see the different mindsets of women at different phases. And I was like, I am making notes. So I wanted to sit down and reflect, what if I could avoid the regrets most women face later on in life by taking lessons out of that post? They say your 20s, 30s be building, but nobody tells you what you should be building. They talked about rediscovering confidence, reliving the youthful days, learning about health, learning to live again after years of giving. So I thought to myself, let's sit down, let's write notes, and let's take action. So there are a few things I held on to dearly, and I thought I'll share that with you guys so we can all learn together, especially if you are a lady in your 20s, whether you're single, married, trying to navigate this womanhood thing, or just living your best life. Everybody gather around. So the first thing I'm strapping to my belt tightly. The author of this planted herself in a room full of women that were older than her, and she was just willing to listen and learn from them. If you're only going to be in a circle where it's only your age mates, girl, we're not going to learn anything. Let your circle be dynamic. Let that be people that are younger. Let that be people that are older, and open your mind to learn, to share, build that community, build sisterhood of people you can talk with, who you can seek advice from, people you can share advice with. That was the only way these lessons were able to be shared. And also the women that were sharing, their lessons and their experiences, how much less of a burden it might feel or be if you have trusted people that you can lean on to when times are tough, when times are great. But the key thing here is just being able to really build that tribe or have that circle, have that sisterhood that is dynamic, that is full of different level and wavelengths of wisdom and experiences, people that have gone ahead, people that you want to follow in their footsteps, people that you want to learn from, and people that are also coming behind that you can gain insight from as well as share insight with. So I found that to be such a great lesson for me to take away and strap to my belt. Build that sisterhood, build that community, build that circle that indeed is enriching for your growth. It's not just that we're just laughing, ha ha ha, ki. We're actually learning from each other, and we are sharing experiences that we're all growing to, from, into. The second thing I'm strapping to my belt tightly is taking my health seriously now, prioritizing it now. This is not just about going to the gym, because in your 20s, that's still a hype. This is really about investing in your health and taking care of your health. As you get older as a woman, your hormone levels go all over the place. Your estrogen levels fall, and you might fall with it if you're not careful because your bones become weaker. So things like being able to understand how your hormones change at different stages, to be able to inform how you exercise, how you eat, how you carry yourself is so important. It was common for women to deal with bad knees, bad back, pain, aches. And the thing is, as a woman, it's only going to get worse because hormones is not on your side. Your estrogen levels fall drastically when you hit menopause. So being able to be informed as to what do I need to be doing for my health now, because it's not going to change overnight. I think some of us think that when the time calls for it, I'm going to change my ways. It's about starting now. It's about being able to build habits that allow you to be in motion so that as the seasons change, as your body demands different things from you, it wouldn't be so much of a new thing to carry on, so much of a new habit to instill. Rather, it'll be something that you've infused into your lifestyle and it's just being adapted as, age and time comes, versus not prioritizing it at all. And then you're having to deal with the consequences of what you could have done earlier. Definitely for me, taking my health seriously now, not making it a bystander in my priorities, what I'm eating, how I'm training, fitness, incorporating strength training, not just 10,000 steps daily or the treadmill, incorporating strength training because of my bones so that my knees are still strong later. And also because as women, firstly, we're going through different hormonal changes as we get older, but also the different responsibilities and seasons of like a motherhood, different things would affect your weight. So being able to understand your body in each season and keep active so that you are able to maintain your weight and you're not having to rely on other things to help you maintain your weight. When you start now, you are able to learn about your body and grow with your body as it grows, so that we're kind to our future bodies, because how we treat our bodies now is how it would serve us later. The third thing I'm strapping onto my belt from this conversation is to enjoy my youth, enjoy the youthful days whilst it's here. Okay. And I don't mean waste it. There's a fine line between enjoying your youthful days and wasting your youthful days. While the energy is still there, while we can sleep, while we have the time to explore, to learn, enjoy it, maximize it, live your best life whilst you can. Whatever that means for you, do it now, do it today. Whilst you have the energy, use it wisely and use it well. Don't say, I'm going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow, your energy might not be the same. Tomorrow, your activity level might not be the same. Tomorrow, you might be chasing after a baby and that's all you could get done in 24 hours. There are different things that tomorrow can bring. So whilst you're young today, maximize it now. Plan for rest, plan for fun, plan for vacation, plan for time off, plan to learn new things, experience new things, enjoy the youthful days, enjoy the time that you have now. Because one of the common things mentioned was women later on in life trying to relive the youthful days. And sure, there's time for that then, I'm sure, but it's probably not going to be the same. So whilst we are in our 20s, 30s, the younger we are, this is the youngest we'll ever be today, make use of it as much as you can. Which leads me to my next point, because the lessons came in different stages and different age groups. And it just really clicked for me that every season comes to an end. There's a stage for every phase, and that phase will come to an end. So some of the phases might be ghetto, some of the phases might be tough, might be hard. You might, people might not see you sometimes, another season, you are all outside. But the thing is, it has an end to every season. There's a season of, sleepless nights. There's a season of you can sleep as much as you want. There's seasons for different things. So being able to be aware of that, the fact that the hard times will end and the good times would also end. So maximize it in whatever way that is and really bask in that, because it's going to end and you won't be able to buy it back. So don't rush your life stages. People that are in their 30s are growing into 40s, people in 40s growing into 50s, and then they're wishing they were back in their 30s, and some people are wishing, their kids are grown up to be teenagers. Some people in the teen phase are wishing their kids are back home. Enjoy the life stage that you're at, because it's gonna end. Is gonna end. I love this next one, and it was a silver thread in all of the conversations and all age groups, from women ranging from 30s to 50s. Learn to prioritize taking care of yourself. And I'm gonna hammer on this point so much that it might sound like so selfish, but hear me out. It's a balance. As women, because we are so integrated in the life of, different seasons and different stages of human life, because of our nurturing nature, it can be so easy for us to, completely lean into selflessness and completely forget ourselves. And that was really evident in the women that were older. And I was just thinking, what does that look like for me now? What does that look like for me in my 20s? And it doesn't mean that you should not be selfless, or you should not embrace, showing up for others in the most selfless way. But it's like being able to take care of yourself now, not just because of other people, not just because of a man, not just because of a friend, not because of any other thing, but for yourself. Learning how to take care of yourself. And obviously that's physically learning whatever that looks like for you, but also being able to invest in that future self now. Things like learn about time management, starting to walk in that, starting to build systems that support balance or harmony in your life. As they say, it's not work-life balance, it's work-life harmony or integration. Being able to start that now. You're not doing it for another person. You're doing it for you. You're doing it so that it's a seamless system and a seamless process for you, so that the more things come on your plate as you grow older, the more that you've invested in knowing how to balance things, how to center yourself, how to remember yourself, even in the times where things are, chaotic. So learning how to take care of yourself, that was the most common thing, I think. Women losing themselves because of children, because of marriage, because of, different seasons, different stages. And again, each stage will demand a different percentage, a different you. But in your 20s, you have that time, you have that energy to be able to understand yourself, understand what you like, invest in your hobbies, invest in your mind, invest in, things that enable you to take better care of yourself, invest in something that lights you up, know what you need, know what you want, and, being able to build that up. I'm in that phase of my life where, I'm recognizing these things, and I call it being able to have things in motion. I don't know, it's just a term that I love saying. And I always tell my husband this, it's like when I'm being pressured or when I feel like I have this pressure to do the next thing, I'm like, I know that I need to get something in motion in this season first. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it. I need this to be in motion. I don't need it to be perfect, but I need it to be in some sort of motion so that I know that it's motioning with me. Like it's a part and parcel of me, that even if in different seasons it's high, it's low, it's still there, versus when I never started it at all, or when I never committed to it at all, or I never identified it at all. So that's why I can relate to this point for me, learning you and what takes for you, what you want to prioritize, learning what, works for you, how to present yourself, how to carry yourself, what makes you confident, things like that, so that you don't lose it. You don't lose it. When you have those things in motion early on in life, it's easier for that to just be part and parcel of you, so that when other factors come into place as you grow, you don't lose that. And that leads me nicely to the next one, which is, discover how you want to serve the world. And that's going to look different in different seasons. But for you, like most people that were married or in motherhood, not that they don't love that season, but most of them talked about how it felt like maybe they've lost themselves. Obviously, might not be the case for everybody, but I saw in those stories shared, the earlier that I can understand how I want to show up in the world, how I want to serve the world, the better for me and my responsibilities to come. Because again, it's so easy to get sucked up in those responsibilities, and you forget that when those responsibilities end, you are still part of the world. And how do you want to show up? Some people call it purpose, different terms, different words. That's different in different seasons, and it's going to change. But being able to have some sort of understanding of that, I think really helps when you are going into such a selfless role. Whether that's marriage or motherhood or womanhood in general, showing up for family. And then when you're able to identify that to some degree, being able to prepare for flexibility, because career will change, business demands different things from you in different seasons. So being able to prepare for flexibility and being able to be adaptable to each season, I think it's easier when you understand how you want to show up in the world. When you understand, this is what I want to hone in on. This is where I want to show up excellently. This is where I want to be known for. This is where I know my skills set match and I want to excel at it. I think that knowledge is so empowering for a woman. For those that don't have that, you're more likely to then be possibly part of the group of people that are questioning, what am I here for? I know I said one was one of my favorite, probably all of them are, because it's just really powerful points that I took from these conversations. But the final one, and very, very important one, is to build financial literacy. Build financial literacy. Oh my goodness. It is so common when you get married, as you grow, to easily join your finances with someone else. And because of being a woman, if you get to the stage and if you wish for the stage of having children, your finances could possibly pause for a few years. I don't want to use the word financial independence, because most of the time as women, you'll probably find yourself where you share your finances with someone else. But I think at least being financially literate, being able to understand money, being able to understand bills, being able to understand how things work financially, it blows my mind when I hear stories of women that unfortunately end up getting stranded for one unfortunate reason or another, whether that's due to their control or not. And financially, they're just in a state. And it's so unfortunate. It's so sad because sometimes you just don't know where to start from, or sometimes you're having to be tied up in a difficult situation because you can't leave otherwise, because you have no financial literacy for even where to start. And I'm not talking about having your own money or anything. That's a slight different conversation, which I do think is important, but I'm talking even just understanding money, because when you're financially literate, if you had to start again, you can. If you had to multiply, you can. If you had to, speak in the room, you can. It's not that you are dumbfounded in that area. For women, it's so easy to sweep that under the carpet and hope that someone else takes care of that. Cool, we love when they do that. We don't pray for it to happen to us, but it's really sad when you see a woman in a position that she could have avoided if financially she was wiser. So I think it's not a case of being financially sneaky, a case of being financially literate. Understand your taxes, how to save, where you want to put your money, how do you want your money to work for you, how you want to give, like being able to be empowered about money. I think it's so important for any human being. There were so many things shared from this post and from this thread. I took so many things away, but these are just a few things that I will continue to meditate on and pray that, by the grace of God, I'm able to prioritize and work on it as I keep getting older and age with grace. So if you're in your 20s like me, this is your reminder. This is our reminder to plant the seeds that our future self will be proud of, to plant the seeds that when you look back in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you're like, I thank God for what I planted and what I invested in my 20s. What does that look like for you? Whether that's from the points that I've listed or from anything else that you've learned from another lady, another woman in your life that you're holding near and dear to your heart and applying in your 20s. And if you're not in your 20s and you're watching this video and you want to share some tips with us as well, please put it in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. I'm going to link the post that my thoughts originated from because it was so powerful, and I'm sure every woman can benefit from basking in that conversation. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.